The Adventures of Mr. Pimples and Sauerkraut Kids. It was a long and seedy night in the grim moor of East Havishire, wherein the Sauerkraut family was visiting the public library on the eve of its great 150th anniversary. Now, many of you probably don't know what an anniversary is, and I'll tell you. It's hodgepodge and dilly-dally, nothing more than frolic and frolic. People are obsessed with the same day every year for no apparent reason. It isn't even the same date, just a shadow of the past. Sadly, we remember dates like these, and the day that the library was built was a rather sad one for the town of East Havishire, as Edward II had died. Now, if you don't know who Edward II is, we shall have to have a rather long discussion on a short subject. Edward II, being as he was the second one of the litter, is a hamster. And he was born among his flock in the land of New Amsterdam. He was a rather fat hamster, and how this all ties into the city of East Havishire is you see that he was the hamster owned by one Mr. P. Smelly, and Mr. P. Smelly was the mayor of East Havishire. His death was a solemn tomb in the history of the city of East Havishire. He was laid to rest underneath the library of East Havishire in a large cigar box that originally held illegal Cuban cigars. Why they were illegal, I have absolutely no ingenious view, but overall he died, and in his absence they built this giant megaplex of a library. Sad, isn't it? And that is why I hate anniversaries. The Sauerkraut family, on the other hand, loved anniversaries. They were so wretched about it, as if the very world could not have more of these dreaded holidays. The Sauerkrauts were kind of like the Kardashians of the town of East Havishire, which had about 1,000 people, which seems like so little, but there were a lot of chickens living in free range. And everything else was kind of like a suburb, where they build modular homes, and what those are is they are basically giant blocks of house with no real furnishment to speak of. And the Sauerkrauts loved modular homes, as if the Dickens was all about it, which it absolutely is not. Hello, if I have not introduced myself, as disingenuously as I may, my name is Mr. Pimples. I got the name because I have lots and lots of pimples. I went through a late stage of maturation, so you ought to be thinking at the moment of this disingenuous thought that I might have lost track of the library and its grand 150th something. But you see, the Sauerkraut family is built of a stocky father named Maple. Why, I have no clue, and his daughter Marie, and his two sons Jacob and Finn. They were like the Kardashians, if you remember, and these filthy brats loved horrible things that just exist among the good in life, like modular homes and anniversaries. They were so very sour, the Sauerkraut kids. They were bitter to the core of the onion. On this anniversary in which Edward II's young, as he could be hamster, to the mayor died, it should follow that as being the great rulers of the roost, that the Sauerkrauts they were cutting the ribbon on the anniversary and all of the people and free-range chickens of East Havishire were in complete attendance. And as they were cutting the ribbon with a giant pair of scissors, a rain began to fall. This was not a long, disingenuous rain, but a hearty swallow the whole of you in a bath rain. They loved it, and then as it went away and the sun did shine, in pops me, Mr. Pimples. You see, on that day, I was dressed in orange, and I happened to be standing next to the only free-range ostrich in town, whose head was definitely in the sand. I listened to the children's soppy speech, and it was so soppy that the speech reeked of pancake syrup. So I decided to just go into the library. When I entered, the books were all adult nonfiction. It was rather dull. As I glanced about, I saw that all the children's section lay completely empty. It was as I said, dull. I wanted to bang my head against the librarian's bird cage. She has no bird, just a cage. How grim. So on the wall was a babysitting job offer. It read, "To whom it may concern, the sauerkraut family, we need a nanny, thank you. Would prefer university student, thank you." The number was 1-800 something something. How dreadful. So I answered the call and got an answering machine. Then it said sauerkraut. I said I would like the job. I never got the job, so thus ends the whole shenanigan of a story. It's odd, isn't it, how things often end just before they have begun. Hello, and my name is Mr. Pimples. I am for hire. Just dial 90210 because I will be in Hawaii sunbathing with my cousin Fred, who has hair all over his back so he can spread his own lotion. Thank you very much.